Hello, all you fine bronies and Pegasisters. This is Silver-Quill talking to you from the interwebs. And I'm here with a collection of talent from the Brony Review community. We're here to take a look at things both old and upcoming. And so, joining me in this discussion, we have I Love Kim Possible a Lot.
Hi.
We have Dr. Wolf.
Greetings and welcome, everyone.
We have a man by many names, Josh Scorcher, Commander Firebrand, and my personal nickname, Brando-chan.
I like how you refer to all of us as talent. Very ironic.
Ooh.
Someone's spicy today.
Very spicy. I'm sure Sweetie Bloom here is going to ship it.
Very much so.
So it begins.
Just wait until tomorrow, my friend.
Oh yes, we're recording this the evening before Ha-Con. Ha and double ha.
Yee.
Waha, waha, waha.
Apologies that it's not like a live stream, but this time we're trying to avoid spoilers because we're going to be talking about the upcoming season 8. And we know that if you spoil things, Josh will go into conniption.
But it's funner that way.
Yes, but his conniptions usually involve actual fire.
Yeah, it's that fire verbally or fire physically.
Yes.
Well, it's kind of cold in here anyway.
There you go.
Well, speak for yourself. I'm finally having some warm weather where I live. Yay.
Yay.
Although then, to show the vast scope of this country, I saw Twitter feeds from friends who were recording their dogs jumping into banks of snow bigger than them from their porch.
Mm-hmm.
Impressive.
So that is the scope of America. Some of us are basking in the sun and warmth. Others are dealing with the cold and any number of gradients in between.
I'm basking in precipitation.
I'm in the desert. I'm both at the same time.
Oh, so Sweetie is deserting her post and Josh is a wet blanket.
There you go.
But anywho, we're here to talk about what's come before, which is Equestria Girls, and then to look ahead to what's to come, Season 8 of My Little Pony. But Equestria Girls been going rapid fire, thanks in no small part to a pretty inconsistent release schedule.
Yeah, and then they have the Choose Your Own Adventures where they're like, it's different endings. I'm just like, but which one is canon? Like, no one will tell me, so.
It's like Clue.
Or the choose your own adventure.
Or Clue.
Or choose your own adventure.
Clue's better.
And for the next hour, it'll just be these two having that argument.
Yes.
Yeah, but even then, it's like both Clue and choose your own adventure pale in comparison to the real best choice-based thing, Dungeons and Dragons.
There we go. Looped right back to it.
You guys are nerds.
I hadn't noticed. My GPA says otherwise.
Says the person whose name is I Love Kim Possible a lot.
Kim Possible isn't a nerdy show.
It's nerdy to obsess over a cartoon to the point where you tie it to your identity. I'd say that's
Man, you're just mean today. But you know what? At least I don't play Dungeons and Dragons.
Can't we all just hate the Gem and the Holograms movie? But anyway, so let's dive into this talk on Equestria Girls, which has come a long way. And as this is so many people, I'm just going to go in a similar turn order.
Roll for initiative.
I have no initiative. That's why I'm sitting in front of a microphone. Let's talk about first favorite movie. We've got 4 big movies right now. So, KP, of all the Equestria Girls movies you've seen, which one was your fave?
It's probably a tie between Rainbow Rocks and Forgotten Friendship was like pretty good. So it's tempting.
Are we considering Forgotten Friendship a movie?
I'm considering that a special as it's only like 50 minutes.
All right, then Rainbow Rocks then.
All right, Rainbow Rocks. Dr. Wolf, how about yourself?
I'm going to have to go with Rainbow Rocks as well, definitely.
Josh, are we going to make this a hat trick?
Nope, 3 in a row. Rainbow Rocks.
Oh my goodness, this is going to be a very short conversation. We're all just going to sort of nod and agree. Sweetie Bloom.
All right, I'm gonna be the different one then. I liked friendship games a hair more than Rainbow Rocks. A hair.
And then all that's left is myself, and I too will fall into the Rainbow Rocks category. And I think because that was the one that, well, okay. KP, what made Rainbow Rocks stand out as your fave?
Because Sunset is the best. That was where it was fun to go on, like, this ride of, like, watching her develop, I guess, to the point where people don't hate her anymore. So, like, the other movies, she's just kind of maintained that, but I feel like Rainbow Rocks has the most of its kind of point to make by developing her versus, because everyone else is just carbon copies of the other horses, so she's the original one, so...
Well, Dr. Wolf, now that KP's talked about Sunset, I challenge you, what did you like about Rainbow Rocks besides Sunset?
Besides Sunset, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well...
Yeah, she got the easy one.
The villains are probably the most fun out of all the Equestria Girls films. The sirens are definitely the most entertaining out of all the villains. And, yeah... You start the film, you know exactly what their motivation is, and you know exactly what they're going to do to get what they want. But they never take a moment, and they're always in the middle of bickering with each other while in the middle of their motivations. You notice that they are trying to get to a goal, and yet they're never... entirely sure about each other's trustworthiness in the middle of it all. They know that they're kind of stuck together in the middle of that prison, so to speak. But I always wondered, if they weren't stuck together, exactly how well would they be working together? While at the same time, their bickering is a lot more comedic.
And Josh, we're making it even harder for you. So Sunset and the Dazzlings are off the table. What did you like about Rainbow Rocks?
I liked the fact that it incorporated music as a theme into the movie, and it made sense. It's like the music of the movie, for the most part, was not bad, and it made sense that these songs would sound the way they do, and they did quite a few clever things with them, like it's You Didn't Know That You Fell. That one was fun. Battle of the Bands was also fun. Just like a lot of these songs were very, very fun, and. It's just like it makes sense that there'd be a pop song here. It makes sense that they'd be singing this, and gosh freaking dang it, an epic music battle at the end of the movie. Just I love music battles as a concept, and I made my top 10 music battles video way too soon.
Good times. Now, sweetie, you chose for friendship games, so it's open to you. Anything and everything.
No, I'm not letting you get off the hook, sir. You chose Rainbow Rocks, and you had to have 3 things taken off the list.
Yes, and I'll have an answer, but you're next on our little rotating order.
All right, fine. I definitely agree with everything everyone said. But what I liked most about friendship games, I think, was how real it was. It wasn't about, magic friendship beams make everything better exactly. There were magic friendship beams, but it was also a lot more about internal struggles, both on Sidewise part and Sunset's part. And it was a lot more about an internal struggle. And while definitely the Dazzlings are a more entertaining villain, they were evil for the sake of evil versus in friendship games where it was just ambition. I wouldn't say there was anyone who's, just I'm a villain because villain. And I would also say that while Rainbow Rocks has a better overall average of quality of songs compared to Friendship Games. I am pretty sure after I saw Friendship Games for the first time, I listened to Unleash the Magic on loop for a good, hour after I saw that movie. I loved that song. The villain song was just really amazing in how the orchestration was down for that. So, that's why I liked it. But I love Rainbow Rocks too, so I'm not gonna bout to diss Rainbow Rocks.
No, there's no dissing. Just because you like one thing doesn't mean you instantly hate the other.
Yee.
Which is a common fallacy we can all fall into. But for me, with Rainbow Rocks, I loved the absurdity of the world. I mean, you have Vinyl Scratch DJ Pone 3 with her transforming car. Mm-hmm. And you have all these Canterlot High students who are just acting weird and trying to partake in the battle, from bulk biceps having a tiny violin to Derpy's stirring rendition of whatever the heck that was. What is it when you just have a piece of metal and you draw a string across it?
A saw. It's actually a legitimate instrument. Playing a saw is actually legit.
Yeah, you ever seen that one episode of Gilligan's Island?
I saw the one with the coconuts. But, well, is that what we can expect for the Saw franchise? Next up, Jigsaw's just calling everyone to, you must solve this musical or make me tap my toes. It's very hard to animate that.
That's the twist.
Now, also talk about the absurdity of the Equestria Canterlot High class. That's something I'm always hungry for. I mean, most of the time they're just sort of walking screen to screen left. I'm looking for those absurdities like we see in Ponyville. Case in point, in the special, what is it? Sunset is in line for this new video game. I forget what it's called, the main line. But either way, they're in line, and the camera pans goes all these students waiting. And there's this redheaded student who is in a sleeping bag, but she has strung it up like a caterpillar's chrysalis, or cocoon, rather.
Cocoon.
She's cocooned herself and is dangling from the ceiling. It's like, why is she doing that? That is awesome, but I want to know why she's doing that. And so that's what I love about, background characters. If they're doing something weird, and just get your mind asking or your imagination going. And though I don't know if that's my favorite special, but that's where we go now. Favorite Equestria Girls special. This isn't the non-movie stuff. This is anything you've seen regarding Equestria Girls that you thought, hey, that was pretty good. And so since we've gone the pattern, I'll go in reverse now, starting with me. And I liked Forgotten Friendship a lot. I really enjoyed that special. So Sweetie Bloom, what was your favorite special?
Forgotten Friendship.
Okay, easy enough. Josh, what was your favorite special?
I'm really trying to be a contrarian here.
We can be unanimous. It's okay.
But we don't have to be one and the same thing.
At the same time, Forgotten Friendship is also freshest on everyone's memory.
Yeah, absolutely. I've forgotten half of the stuff at this point.
Yeah, it's like, I can't. I don't think we can say anything else.
Nope.
Yeah, the only really noteworthy thing is the movie arc where they with that chick and Starlight and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Oh, movie magic and Juniper montage and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But as for me, I'm going to have to go with Forgotten Friendship as well. Even though it is recent, and I'm sure that everybody's still talking about it.
You know the phrase, if 10 of you all have the same opinion, then 9 of you are unnecessary? Why are we here?
It's still really good, though.
Yeah.
It touched on some very interesting conflicts that are actually 10 times more interesting than a lot of the other conflicts that have come up in Equestria Girls before.
Mm-hmm.
Well, KP, do you want to be the minority shouting against the group rule?
No, Forgotten Friendship's still the best. I was just thinking of what our other options were.
There are none.
Okay, I'll throw one out there that I really enjoyed. It's one of the Choose Your Own Adventures. It's where Fluttershy is... she wants to audition, but of course, it's Fluttershy, stage fright. Mm-hmm. And so there's all these different ones where you can have like this weird laser smoke intro, courtesy of Vinyl Scratch. I forget what the second option was, but my favorite was Applejack tries to give her the old encouragement, just picture the audiences in their underwear, or, you know, one of those things where you embarrass the audience in your mind so you're less intimidated. Well, Fluttershy turns that on its ear. She envisions the entire audience as Applejack cheering for her, and that gives her the courage. It's like, oh, my glucose levels, so sugary sweet. I'm dying. So things like that. But then there are also incredibly weird moments. Like there's a short where all the heroines are in their powered up forms trying to chase down a criminal who robbed a jewelry store. Applejack throws a bench at him, kindly forgetting that there's an elderly woman still on the bench as she throws it. And I watched that. I was like, what are you doing? Why would you do that? Sweetie, are there any of those what the hey moments in your memory? Just where it tried to break you?
That one's probably the worst. I remember you pointing that out before I saw the special. You're like, Grandma got thrown! I'm like, what? I saw it and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that's pretty broken. I don't know. I can't remember any others that broke me half as much. That was definitely a best pony. Why you do this?
Grandma got thrown out by an apple.
Apparently.
Josh, what about you? Any Equestria Girl just double take moments?
Well, just kind of...
Should I play the Jeopardy theme song?
This was not part of the assigned reading.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, yeah, it's like I don't know. It's like I don't know. It's like I don't quite recall anything really, you know, throwing me for a loop. Like at the moment.
Well, there you go. Don't have to have an answer, but it's funny. Dr. Wolf, I know you haven't seen a lot of the Equestria Girl stuff that's been bombarding us on YouTube or Dailymotion, whichever comes first.
I actually haven't been keeping up on the dozens of animated shorts and choose your own adventures that have come out. I've watched the longer specials like Movie Magic and Mirror Magic and the recent Forgotten Friendship, of course, and the movies, but I've missed out on a lot. But if I had to pick the weirdest moment, I mean, out of all the Equestria Girls that I have seen thus far, I think what's coming to mind is the very first appearance of Trixie in the very first movie. She comes on screen and she says, "The great and powerful Trixie needs some peanut butter crackers." And I'm like, okay, that's what they want to do with her? I found that to be a little different, but it stuck around.
Could you sense the memes on the horizon?
Yeah.
They came up with a line that really stuck out in people's minds, and yeah, it works.
It did. It definitely worked. KP, what about yourself? Any double take or what?
Something minor, but I don't know if you guys noticed, but Flash has gotten a new haircut.
Oh, I didn't notice.
Oh yeah, it's forward sweeping now. He actually looks more, in a weird way, humble.
But they still can't figure out how to freaking use him.
Nope.
Oh yeah, what were saw some screenshots of tweets that he was supposed to nearly hit Sunset with his car in the special, but standards and practices wouldn't. They were worried about that, so he just was in the background.
I don't know if that would have been a better contribution for him, though. He's gonna start becoming waifu killer.
I mean, to be fair, his role is now kind of obsolete since regular Twilight isn't really coming back there anymore.
Now he's trying to get back together with Sunset, kind of, maybe.
There they're
Kinda,
trying
maybe.
to push that ship. He likes them horsewomen.
Oh, let's not go too far down that rabbit hole.
I had comebacks planned and everything.
I know.
I'm gonna put them in
We
the
must
chat.
be good.
PG. We gotta be PG. But, okay, we also thought about playing a game because Dr. Wolf hasn't seen much of this, but this is not a requirement. I have a two truths and a lie for Dr. Wolf. I don't know if anyone else does.
I did not do my homework. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. Anybody else?
I'm good. I put my thing in the chat so you guys can read it privately.
Oh, jeez.
The joys of social media. You can find ways to still be PG and still be awful.
All you have to do is torture your select group of friends and listen to them squirm.
But that was kind of funny.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, it was.
No, it wasn't.
Okay, all right.
Josh is being a frowny face. All right, well, Doctor, I've got two truths and a lie for you, and I want to see if you can spot the lie.
Okay, so these are what has actually happened in the Equestria Girls shorts and or Choose Your Own Adventure series over the past year or so.
Yes,
At
indeed.
least two of them have, and one of them has not, and I'm supposed to spot which one has not.
Exactly right.
Okay.
So this also it depends on how well I can sell it. So let's see how I do. All right. Well, over the course of these various specials, shorts, movies, Science Twilight, Sci-Twi, has made a lot of robotic inventions. She has actually made a robot companion for Spike, an announcement system AI that does Celestia's job better than she, and a flying robot with a super strong arm that pulls stage elements for a play across the room with an extendo arm.
Okay.
So, which of those three statements was a lie?
Okay, so a robot companion for Spike was the first one,
Yep, little robo-dog.
and then PA system that's better than Celestia was the second.
Attention class, your principal has been rendered invalid. I am in control now.
Okay, and then the third one was a robotic stagehand.
Yep, that flies and has extendo arms and is not part of a union.
I see. Which one would be the lie? Oh, goodness.
Who wants to play the Jeopardy theme?
Okay, I'll stop. Sorry.
Difficult. I am going to say that I'm leaning towards the robotic arm as one of the truths. So I'm trying to decide between the robot companion for Spike and the PA system. And if I had to pick one, I am going to say it's the robot companion is the lie. That would be my guess.
Oh, I'm sorry, Doctor, you're incorrect.
All right. Was I even close?
Well, you were very close. Yes, Twilight did create a robotic stagehand. And in a music video, you spend the whole video watching her look like she's trying to create the ultimate boyfriend.
But there's no dog, right?
Well, that's the thing. You don't really realize it because she's looking at Timber Spruce. She's looking at all these hunky guys. You don't notice it until you go back and look. All the guys have dogs with them. And she makes a robot dog to be friends with Spike.
Huh.
That's the payoff of the music video. It's like, oh, okay, that's clever. Freaky, but clever. I could see why you would assume that there'd be a PA system trying to replace Celestia, because I think you could basically just put a speak and spell in front of her desk and that'd be just as effective.
I was leaning more towards Twilight is trying to help Celestia from being overwhelmed, because it sounds like something that Twilight would do. But I don't know. I was leaning between the two of them, and I leaned a little too far to the one that was wrong. That's all.
No, it was very well reasoned. It's just
Yeah,
that
I mean, who would have thought that Twilight would do something nice for Spike? I mean, come on.
I'm sorry, Doctor, you were trying to be sane in an insane world. But anyway, I think we've run the course on Equestria Girls. So now we enter into the no spoilers, but yet we're going to talk about season 8 territory. Because we're less than a month away, and Josh doesn't want to hear about how they disband the equestrian military.
Or maybe he does.
Honestly, I think they already did.
And yes, I do love to torment my friends with fake spoilers.
I'm just really upset, man. It's just having to make. Yeah, it's like. If y'all saw my review, you saw how much I just lit up the movie for, doing that. Just, ugh.
That there were exactly 0 guards on hand. Oof.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I made a joke about that too. So.
Yep.
I think we all have at this point. It's like Equestria lasted all of 2 minutes, but with the guards, they could have made it to 3. All right. But mostly, this show is all about the characters. And so, I'd like to ask KP, is there a character you'd really have hopes for in Season 8? Something to be fleshed out, developed, a challenge they have to face?
Let's see, things that I've been complaining about for years. I want, as usual, I want my Discord backstory and my Celestia and Luna backstory, because, it confuses me how this whole Alicorn thing makes sense. So, but apparently there was something similar to that in the movie, but then it was cut, so. What else? I don't really know what else. Starshrow coming back would be nice.
Well, that's the thing. If I remember right, hearing the movie, the villain was originally supposed to be Celestia and Luna's brother.
Yeah, I think that would be cool. That would have been cooler.
Yeah.
Well, then you just get confused. How far does this family go, and who's the parent?
Who are the parents of these gods? What?
Yeah.
Dr. Wolf, we talked a little bit before we started recording, but you had a very strong view on something you'd like to have happen.
I've actually made a video on this subject. Haven't released it yet. But I'll try not to get too deep into this. I'll try to keep it short. In essence, I want life to happen to Applejack and her family. And what I mean by that is, first, I want Big Mac to strike out on his own. I want him to suddenly realize, maybe I should get my own place. I mean, they were setting up an idea that he's starting a relationship and maybe he wants to be his own pony, so to speak. And at the same time, I was thinking, what if Granny Smith reaches the point where she's no longer able to take care of herself either, where she needs to be put into a care center within Ponyville limits, but she's not able to live at home anymore. And how would Applejack react to that? Where her family is still close by, but they're no longer living at home. And if I could think of anything that could further drive her character arc in the show, give her some real conflict, struggle to overcome, that's what makes the most sense to me.
I mean, you mentioned Big Mac and, he's in this relationship. Sugar Bell's town doesn't have a farm nearby. At all. As she stated, it's a road. Mm-hmm. This is the street, and that's the whole town. So Big Mac could start a farm out in that community. Wonder if although it's pretty desert conditions, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Well, Appaloosa was pretty much desert conditions. before ponies settled there. They could change the landscape, maybe.
Well, one can see. You never know what those ponies can do, especially with their crazy magic powers.
And the fact that they don't follow basic agriculture. I'm okay.
I sense this. I sense the Sweetie Bloom rage building.
I'm okay. It's fine.
Agricultural
Yes! I had a whole video about agricultural Pretty sure that was my St. Patrick's Day special a few years ago.
Well, speaking of anger, Josh.
Okay, so there are my hopes for characters. It's like there's a couple that I really, really want to have something to happen to them. Can I name all three, or am I only allowed to say one?
Oh, go all three. Hey, we're not stingy.
Okay, number one, I want Celestia to be directly involved in the plot of a season premiere or finale.
Besides getting kidnapped?
Yes. It's, at this point, it is just cliche, and it's starting to get enraging.
Wasn't she involved in the season 6 opener?
Barely. I want her to be directly... I want her to be... No, she helped, but she, again, was called away. I want her to be directly involved. Second thing, I want a deeper personality for Cadence other than a wet tissue paper.
Thank you.
Usually I'm the one going after Cadence in the conversation.
Yeah. And thirdly, I want Shining Armor to not be pathetic.
Also, thank you.
I'm just really upset. It's like Celestia, she's never involved. Cadence, she never gets anything, and Shining Armor, he's never allowed to shine. No pun intended.
Josh made a pun.
Yeah, I did not do that on purpose.
Yes, you did.
Yes, you did.
One
No,
of
I
us.
didn't.
One of us.
No.
One of us.
I did not do that on purpose.
Oh, you're showing cracks in the armor.
Anyways, but yeah, it's. I do like that. It's they got halfway there with Shining Armor's character. You know, it's like they showed like he's a bit of a dork, and you know when it comes to family, he realizes he's out of his depth and he panics whenever. But yeah, it's just you look at this guy and it's like, why is he the captain of the Royal Guard? It's like he doesn't show any leadership. He doesn't show any he doesn't show any combat prowess. It's why is he in charge? How did he get in charge? And Cadence. Where do I begin with her? I have no idea what motivates Cadence. I have no idea what her ambitions are. I have no idea what kind of person she is. I have no idea what she likes. I have no idea what she dislikes. I have no idea who Cadence is. It's like, why does she do the things that she does? What does she value? It's like, what's her favorite food? It's what does she do? It's like, what's her relation? What's her relationship? What is her relationship with people? It's like, how does she? We know nothing about her.
Admit it, you just want to see Cadence have a bottle of brony tears on the table. And she drinks deeply with a smile. That's some good salt. All right, Josh. Feel good? Exhale.
Yeah. And also because Celestia is best princess, I want her to do something. I want her to be awesome. And we got a little bit of that in season 7, but I want more. It's like you're tantalizing. I feel like Tantalus.
I thought you sounded like Ariel for a minute. I want more.
Can someone make a video of that where you just track Josh's OC face over the, like, part of your world?
No.
Someone's gonna do it.
And then I'll auto-tune everything to be like Celestia episode.
well, Josh is probably planning retaliation against all three of us. Sweetie, is there a character you'd really like to follow up on?
First of all, Big Mac is best princess. I don't know about follow up on exactly, at least not off the top of my head. I feel like, cause see, Doc talked about best pony, so I feel like I need to talk about worst pony. I want Fluttershy to come to terms with her limitations in her field, because she keeps acting like a veterinarian when she's clearly not licensed, and it really annoys me.
She's like the hippie vet, you know?
Yeah, like, I'm not even going to get into my rant about Bird in the Hoof. They have tried to be better with that. It started with Tanks for the Memories. I saw an improvement, and there was a recent episode, I can't remember what the heck it was called, where they actually showed Fluttershy and the veterinarian speaking to one another.
Oh. Fluttershy leans in, yeah.
That's the one. And that one I was like, oh, look, they're acknowledging that Fluttershy is not a doctor. You know, and I want her to, I want more of that. I want more of like, she doesn't know everything. And she does have to defer more often. And that she, maybe, can we have Fluttershy go to school? Can we have Fluttershy actually try to become a veterinarian? Wouldn't that be awesome?
I still don't know what the goal with Fluttershy is besides just her opening up her sanctuary. Was that it?
Which was cool, and I like that she apparently had an ambition for 7 seasons that she didn't tell anybody about, but this is Fluttershy, this is Fluttershy. I mean, I guess she wouldn't exactly say that, I suppose, but,
Oh no, there's a lot. There's a lot of things that don't really come up until the plot demands it. Shining armor.
Yeah, that was the first major one, I feel. The first major, my brother that I'm really close with, that you haven't mentioned in 2 seasons. Okay.
Yeah. With Zephyr Breeze, it made sense.
It made sense with Zephyr.
Fluttershy was kind of ashamed of him.
Yeah. Yeah, like, I would have bought Estranged Brother, but it was like, oh no, we're really close. And you never mention him? I talk about my sisters with people all the time, and half of the time I can't stand them.
Yeah, it's like you guys know about my older brother.
Yeah, I know about most of your family at this point.
I know a lot about Claire's mom.
Yes, you do, and I'm scared for you, honey. We'll talk about that later. Maud, I felt bad because she's like, oh yeah, my sister Maud, and then she showed up. I'm like, but she doesn't look like any of the already pre-established sisters we know that Pinkie Pie has. I didn't know why they felt it necessary to design a new character when they had 2 character designs they could have worked with.
Don't you know they had to make another Fluttershy?
Well, I did ship that for quite some time. I'm not gonna lie. Marvel Mac was my OTP there until canon ruined that, but
Que sera.
We're just gonna have to ship Fluttershy with Discord or something. And now I'm going to hide while KP kills me. Silver, what are your thoughts?
Well, I'd like to touch base and see how Diamond Tiara is doing. She's been in the background of a few episodes and seems to be, she's doing just fine, just hanging out with ponies. But you can't change a person overnight. There's the commitment to change, but it takes a lot of work and effort. I think it'd be okay to show her still struggling, still trying to figure out who she wants to be and how she wants to present that to the world. And that would give the Crusaders a chance to follow up, coach, and encourage her, which would then be a chance for them to show their best as well. They've had better episodes as of late, I think, than we got to get our cutie marks this episode motif. But Diamond Tiara was maybe their greatest accomplishment yet, helping her get on the right track. And it's just like, none of this one episode where she's good again and that's it. Come on, we can do a little more follow-up.
Yeah, that tends to happen with a lot of antagonists in the show. It only takes about 2 sentences to reform them.
Yeah.
It's great to show the commitment to change, but the process is also a big part of a journey.
Yeah, And I feel like with a lot of like proper villains that we've reformed, we do touch base with them every once in a while. You know, Starlight's part of the main cast. Discord has had enough episodes to keep KP pacified. You know,
I mean, there can never be
give
enough.
or take. But yeah, we don't get her journey. Fluttershy gets her baby steps. We're diamonds.
So I think we've all chimed in on a character we'd like to see expand or develop or just check in and see how they're doing. But then there's this whole big old world, which has gotten much bigger in the last several seasons. And so we kind of listed this out, and we've actually covered some of these points already. Like, the Royal Guard needs to do something.
Something!
Anything.
Please, something!
Poor Josh.
Well, okay, but there's a challenge with that.
I'm feeling so marginalized and underrepresented.
Well, here's the thing. The military, when people hear military, they immediately assume it's got to be combat or a show of force. What could the Royal Guard do that is not necessarily combat related, but still show them at their best?
Rescue missions, charity work.
Yeah, rescue missions, charity work, or like, you know, it's...
Rebuild a broken society?
Yeah.
Get them out to Griffinstone. They
Or like
Yeah.
guarding something or someone or some people. And the thing is that it's a lot of people were very surprised when I told them this. It's like, who here has played Fire Emblem Awakening?
Nope.
sorry.
Well, one person who played it, he had this criticism that, and it's fair why he, and I don't understand why he thought this. He had the criticisms like, these guys are all soldiers. Why are they acting like such weird, nerdy goofballs? And I'm like, that's what military people are like. I am one of them. You know me. I am not the exception. I am the standard.
One of us. One of us.
But yeah, that would be a really awesome episode to see. You know, like restabilizing Griffinstone.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little concerned about the idea of guarding something because the law of storytelling is if you set up that a group is guarding an individual or a special item, the desire of conflict is that that guarding has to fail.
Yep.
Otherwise, there's no story.
Well, unless the guarding thing isn't the focus of the story.
Well, yeah, if you put the focus on the thieves, kidnappers, whatever, and they're just very inept at their job, there's entertainment. It's why it's like Yosemite Sam trying to get past Bugs Bunny. You don't tell the story from Bugs Bunny's point of view. He's the one who intrudes to get in Sam's way. But so I don't know if that's a possibility, but guarding, you kind of wait for it to fail. And unfortunately, the Royal Guard seems to be there to fail. So we also talked about Celestia and Luna's origins. And I guess it's sort of a question, how much do you really view them as divine beings? Like super powerful?
Well, even though I made the joke earlier, I'd actually say that Celestia in particular, but Luna too in the earlier seasons, she reminded me more of like Dumbledore. Like
she reminded a lot of people of Dumbledore.
It had a lot to do with Philomena, don't get me wrong. That was like copy paste out of Harry Potter. But you know, she's super powerful, super wise, beyond those, you know, the norm, but not incapable of being destroyed, you know, not incapable of being powerless, you know, not incapable of flaws, you know, just, you know, just times 2 of everything else.
Yeah, you know, it's just fun. It's funny. It's like everyone it took me like 7 seasons I still love it, My Little Pony, but it took me like 7 seasons to finally get disillusioned with the show. I still love it. I still watch all the new episodes, but it's just not as I'm just not as excited for it anymore as I used to be.
Well, eight seasons can sometimes feel like a little burnout.
Yeah, but it's just I don't remember season 4. Season
Josh,
4,
you missed the pun.
What?
You missed the pun.
What pun? What pun?
Burnout.
We love you, Josh.
I love your anger, Josh.
He likes when things get a little heated.
Gee, haven't heard that one before.
There's only so many puns based around fire that we can throw.
I don't think there is a single fire pun that you have not heard, Josh, at some point in your life.
Don't challenge them.
I challenge the internet to come up with a fire pun that Josh hasn't heard before.
Why?
Be careful, Claire. You might start a flame war.
Yeah, she's providing the kindling.
Uh-huh.
Doctor, what about your views on Celestia and Luna as either their origins or how do they look after 7 seasons of the show compared to when we all started watching?
Oh, let's see. I imagine that Celestia has lost a bit of her majesty that she started with at the beginning of the series, whereas Luna, I think, has actually had some development since the beginning of the series. The two of them together acting more like sisters rather than rulers is probably a better direction for the show. But I'm not entirely sure where else they can go from here after an episode like A Royal Problem. I mean, how else do you want to develop their relationship after they've already addressed that, yes, there was a struggle between them, and yes, they've already talked about it.
Show them at a point where, show them at a point where it wasn't so developed.
You want to do origin story. You want to go flashbacks.
Well, yeah. It's like if that's your issue, then that's the most obvious solution.
Or what? Another, it could be like coinciding with that. I'm thinking back actually to a trip that my sisters took. I couldn't afford to go, but they went back to the Redwoods where my grandparents used to live. And a lot of the cousins went there and they all just sort of relived their childhoods just by going back and going back to where we used to be when we were kids. And I think
a billion ideas are flooding into my head,
exactly.
And I love it.
With Celestia and Luna, have them go somewhere they grew up, somewhere they that holds memories for them. Have them have that journey, journey to the past to look towards the future.
Well, just get Star Swirl to go there with them, and you've got episodes.
Yeah, exactly.
See, here was Josh saying, after 7 seasons, I don't feel as strongly. And now suddenly he's from Blazing Saddles. My mind is awash with possibilities. See, that's sometimes all it takes. Just bat around some ideas and see what that inspires in people.
Yeah.
Good times. And one last thing, we talked about hopes for the world. Also, not yet seen, Scootaloo's parents.
Yes.
I know this seems like a minor thing, but
it's not.
She's been referenced a lot. And in the Kingmark Crusader mystery books, there's actually a section devoted to Scootaloo, her frustration that her parents are always away, and she's under the care of her aunt and a pony that is heavily implied to be her aunt's partner.
Yay, diversity.
Yay.
So, but everyone's sort of dying to know Scootaloo, who's got probably the least focus of the Crusaders.
Mm-hmm.
And yet when she did, good grief, I think we all kind of felt bad for her at...
but it was great, though.
I loved Flight to the Finish. I still love Flight to the Finish.
It's like, thank you so much for taking that jackhammer to my feels.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that was, aside from... okay, Sleepless in Ponyville was the first Scootaloo-focused episode, but Flight to the Finish was the one that broke all our hearts.
Yeah.
And stitched them together to shape like a Scootaloo. Don't even ask how the cardiovascular system works with that one.
Yeah.
See, now you've brought it up, and I have to figure out some sort of way in which it would work.
Yeah.
To have a heart shaped like Scootaloo?
Yeah, that's what I do. I science things.
Speaking of Crusader's parents, I do want to learn more about Rarity's parents other than them being a punchline.
Well, one of them is Magnum PI, so
Yeah, still, it's I want to know. I want to know more about them because we only saw them very briefly, and they were just there. It was a funny joke, but the joke was it's like there's such a contrast to Rarity.
which is, as funny as that is, it actually got me raising the question, well then where did Rarity get this interest in fashion?
Exactly.
Even when we go back to the Cutie Mark Chronicles, she's already interested in fashion. Where did that come from? Because it didn't come from her parents.
Yeah.
Maybe she just grew embarrassed of her parents from a very young age, and she just was determined to not be like them.
I want the show to tell me that.
I know, we can supply our own headcanons and
Until the cows come home.
get some doozies.
Yeah.
Well, the cows are on Applejack's farm. Apparently that's their home.
Oh, yes. And still speaking of Cutie Mark Crusader's parents, yes, the perfect pair was amazing. I loved it. Mwah, 10 out of 10 episode.
Again.
How did they die?
How did they die? We still don't know.
You people are morbid.
I'm sorry.
Oh, that's so sweet. That's so lovely. Tell me how they die.
Well, the funny thing is, I did the same thing with Scootaloo with, what was that episode with Rainbow Dash's parents? We meet them and they're embarrassing Rainbow Dash, and Scootaloo gets mad at Rainbow Dash. That episode, more than any other episode, made me go, Scootaloo, what's the relationship with your parents? Because the whole time, Scootaloo's going, gosh, Rainbow Dash, you're so lucky to have parents like that. And I'm like, Scootaloo, what are your relationship with your parents? Do you have them? I was like, no, Scootaloo, help me out here. I wanted to know more about Scootaloo's parents when we learned about Rainbow Dash's. You know, it's like that. It's not enough. Give me more.
All right. Well, I think we've... Doctor, do you have anything you'd like to add to Scootaloo's parentes?
I think we've covered pretty much everything at this point.
We have. And I don't want to tax everyone's time, so one topic that's going to be kind of rapid fire. I got 3 questions for you each. Is there any place that's been mentioned but hasn't been seen yet that you'd like to witness? Is there anywhere you'd like the cast to return?
Philadelphia.
And is there anywhere you'd like them to avoid? So KP starts with, haven't seen Philadelphia yet. What about a... Yeah, you think it'd be?
I think it'd be funny for them to try to have a take on, like, U.S. history kind of there, but, like, equestrianize it. Like Liberty Bell, maybe it's like the Friendship Bell, who knows?
There you go. What about a place you'd like them to go back?
I like Las Pegasus, but
Preach.
yeah, I like Las Pegasus, and I'll leave it at that to avoid spoilers. So,
And what's a place you'd like them to avoid like the plague?
Appaloosa.
Ooh.
Not a Brayburn fan?
No, I'm just kind of over Appaloosa. It's not funny anymore, guys.
There you go. Doctor, same questions to you.
I want to see all of the ancient lands where each of the legends came from. I want to have all the main 6 with each of the legendary ponies in modern day go visit those lands now and see how these ponies adapt to how much has changed. So that's kind of like where I'd like them to, what I'd like to see, and where the cast would like to return. So that's 2 questions. As to what I'd like to avoid, let me think. I don't know if there's really any place that has lost all potential for a good story. I don't know if there's really an answer to that one.
It doesn't have to be. Brando-chan, what about you?
I want to see Hollow Shades.
Ooh.
¿Qué es eso?
I want to see Hollow Shades. It's like, as soon as I saw that on the map, it's like, oh my gosh, that is such a cool name. Why does it have that name? It's just say it out loud. Hollow Shades. Oh, it sounds so cool.
It sounds like something from Kingdom Hearts, and you know it.
Yeah, and there's like a rumor going around, that it's where the bat ponies are from. Oh, I want to know. I want to see that. A second place that I also want to see is I want to go back to Starlight's Village.
Where Big Mac can open a farm.
There you go.
Yeah.
And what about a place you'd like to avoid?
Places I like to avoid. Honestly, any place that's a big city, because I'm not a fan of cities.
You hurt me.
Oh.
Yeah, it's just not. I'm not trying to knock anybody who lives in the city. It's just that the places you live at, they suck.
All right, Sweetie Bloom.
Well, I'm going to start off by saying we need more Los Pegasus. We need more cities, man. Mostly because, like, when we finally got to Los... Because once Los Pegasus was mentioned in the show, I'm like, want. And we got there, and it was an okay collaboration, because everyone was like, is Los Pegasus Las Vegas or Los Angeles? I always assumed Los Angeles because of the syllable count, but admittedly it was vague. When we finally got there, they leaned very heavily Las Vegas, and I'm sort of like, can we incorporate both? Can we have a little bit more of LA in there? Come on, it'd be fun.
Come on, guys.
Come on. As far as what was it? Places that mentioned that we haven't been to. Let's go to Trottingham. Let's go to England, man. Let's go to Pony England. I want Pony Robin Hood. I mean, come on.
Shetlands.
Yeah, well, yeah. Let's find Maddie's hometown. Let's go.
You just said England and Maddie. She's coming for you.
I was hoping you wouldn't notice. It's like,
yeah, how dare you insult her Irish heritage?
Oh. Yeah, see, off in the distance I can hear this, I'm Scottish! And she's just mad at me for that accent.
Yes, honey. We know you're from Wales. Shut up.
So.
Oh, I got pages of this. I could go on.
Oh, sure. So when we make fire puns, it's the end of days. But making fun of Mad Munchkin's nationality. Oh, I got pages.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Hey, I don't discriminate against anyone's nationality. Everyone gets made fun of.
Exactly. But still, if you want to flame war. And I guess that leaves myself. We've heard of both Applewood and Vancouver. And I'm curious to see either. Now, to be honest, when I hear Hoover, I always think of the Hoover Dam, but really it's probably Vancouver, pony style, which means you get to see all these voice actors. And I would very much love if, like, Tara Strong's...
Out there, don't ya know?
I'd love to see Tara Strong's OC walking through the background. Now, in terms of where to return, well, honestly, I do want to see how Griffinstone is coming along. That's the place that seemed to be the most out of sync with itself. And it'd be interesting to see how the Griffins are pulling themselves together, or if Gilda and Gabby are the only two still trying to make a change. And maybe Greta. I'd also like to see how far they can stretch the G names. And all the Griffins trying to fly faster than the G forces will allow. Now, avoid, like the plague, is the swamp at the end that we saw in Some Pony to Watch Over Me. The bayou ponies who are just there. And they put someone else's life at risk to deliver a pie. You ponies is messed up. I think you need to get out of that place and let sanity seep back into your lives. I've never seen a place so elaborately set up, and yet, what do you do? How do you function? Wait, don't tell me. I don't want to be drawn further into this madness. I have my own flavor. Thank you very much. Even though I still maintain that the Chimera, was it?
Yeah, Chimera.
Yeah, that was still one of the cooler sights in the series, especially as it appeared in silhouette, so dark and mysterious. And we got one last topic for us all, because seasons are coming and there are threats. But the question is, who's going to be a threat? By my count, we've really got Chrysalis and Tyrek still out there, or at least unreformed, and the Flim Flam brothers. So would you guys rather see return of these old villains, or...
Tyrek. I want Tyrek to come back. He's cool.
That's one for Tyrek.
I want Chrysalis to come back.
All right, I hear one Tyrek, one Chrysalis, one... Dr. Wolf, Dr. Wolf, what do you say? Hey. Going once, going twice.
I wouldn't mind seeing both.
All of them.
That's cheating.
Oh, we've got bipartisanship.
I mean, if you're going to raise the stakes, it's not going to work if you got only one or the other. Will it?
Commander Firebrand, who would you like to see whoop the Equestrian Guard?
Himself, probably.
Oh, that deep exhale.
Because it's inevitable that they will get their butts whooped, so, it's the lesser of two evils at this point.
My life is being measured in seconds.
Honestly, if we're talking about the dignity of the Royal Guard, then probably Chrysalis, because Tyrek just made mincemeat out of all of them, and Chrysalis, they were actually fighting. So, yeah, I go with Chrysalis for the dignity of the Guard.
All right, so we've got Chrysalis ahead by a vote, and I'm going to throw a wrench in everything, because honestly, I'd like to see a new threat. I feel like the threats from 1,000 years ago have been tapped pretty regularly. Even Chrysalis in the comics, they tried to establish that she'd been preying on Equestria for thousands of years. They actually credited...
I don't read the comics anymore.
They actually credited Celestia as the reason that the changelings are all full of holes. She blasted them in them.
Just once, I want something from 3,000 years ago, or 100 years ago. Like, does it have to be exactly 1,000?
Well, yeah, that'd be something. Like Celestia had to deal with something like while Luna was away, and she...
Yeah, I want. It's like, I remember this villain, and Luna's like, I don't.
It's like, oh yeah, about that.
I have no information on this villain. He's from 1,000 years and a day ago. But
Well, knowing you, Silver, I'll bet you'd want to see a villain from the original MLP generation.
I do enjoy those reinventions, although, look at the Smooths. He was given a very big redesign. So it's fun to see how they transition over. But I like the idea of a modern day enemy because it shows that it doesn't have to be ancient to be dangerous. That's why I thought Starlight's Edition as a villain was enjoyable. The Storm King, while not very impactful, at least he was a modern day threat, and therefore everyone was a little bit unsure of what he was capable. I mean, a villain that Celestia and Luna don't know about doesn't have to be from 3,000 years ago. It could be from within the last decade, and they are just unaware. There's been a lot going on.
You kids and your villains.
So I'm for new villainy, but preferably villainy from the modern context. But of course, and we've harped on this a lot, but I'll put that question out there. Should the princesses help resolve this conflict?
Yeah.
Yes.
Here's the thing I feel about the princesses. They're like parents in a Disney movie. The reason why they're almost always shunted off is because if they're around, then the main characters can't have... If they're around and they're functional, then the main characters can't have adventures.
KP, how about yourself? What do you think of should the princesses be involved?
I think they gotta find a way to kind of match both being involved but not taking up the whole story. But I think the crew in general has to go out their comfort zone, especially since the movie they kind of didn't really. So I'd like to see more of trying new things.
Here's an idea. Modern villain that actually researches how all the other villains got defeated and considers Celestia and Luna to be no threat and thinks that the main six are the real power and goes about all their planning with that in mind, and the whole reason that the day is saved is because Twilight has to come up with the plan of going to the final battle with trying to use Celestia and Luna as being underestimated. How's that for an idea?
It's an interesting one. I kind of had this villain looking over Chrysalis is, okay, monologuing crosses that off the list.
Or I'm kind of reminded of that one moment from Justice League: A Better World, where Batman, where it's like there's this dark reflection of the Justice League, and Batman says, "Well, he's not gonna. This Batman's thought of pretty much everything I gotta think of, so I'm just gonna not make a plan." And then he tells that to the Flash, knowing that the Flash would make a plan, because no one could ever anticipate the Flash. But yeah, it's so yeah, not coming up with the plan so Flash could come up with the plan was probably the best plan Batman ever came up with.
There you go.
So do that same thing with Celestia and Luna, where Twilight is always expected to save the day, and they've got to work around that.
I mean, I know that with To Where and Back Again, Twilight was captured and out of the scene, but it would be something if Celestia and Luna had to save Twilight. Like, maybe this is just something you've learned so much, you've accomplished so much, but even this might be too much too fast. Let us help you. That would be a sign of, she's still got growth, but it doesn't diminish her competency.
Yeah. So just because you're not the best doesn't mean you aren't growing.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like you don't have to be perfect.
And this show we do celebrate these characters for their imperfections as much as what they do well.
And they don't shove it down our throats like they did in Fame and Misfortune.
Well,
oh, trust me, I have words to say on that episode.
Well, in truth, I think we've covered all we wanted to cover, just because that's a lot to look forward to in a new season. Even if, like I say, 7 seasons of a show we once thought was not going to make it past season 1.
Well, I came in during season 2, so but yes.
Well, as did I, but the general sense I got from people was, wow, we have season 2? Oh, that'll probably be it. Oh, season 3? Well, that'll reach syndication. That's probably it. Oh, season 4? Okay, then.
Even the MLP staff thought that they were going to end with Alicorn Twilight.
That's awkward.
What would the Brony fandom be like if that was the conclusion?
I don't want to think about it.
Yeah, just to give you all a little nightmare fuel.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's... Even though season 4 was my favorite, I did love how season 5 started out. Like, I just wish Starlight Glimmer was more of a recurring villain. Before her inevitable redemption.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I do like the idea of this person who thinks in a sort of... I do love the idea of this type of character who uses a sledgehammer to crush an ant. Like just something so small, something so mundane and silly that she just has to take all of these over-the-top, excessive solutions.
And then I'll put that flea in a box. And then I'll put that box inside of another box, and then I'll mail that box to myself. And when it arrives, I'll smash it with a hammer.
I love that kind of villain. The villains just go over the yeah. And I also like the idea of, you know, her kind of being a little bit of a zealot.
A little bit of a zealot?
Well, the thing is that yeah, she is. It's like she was built up as a big zealot at the beginning, but at the end, it's like, yes, she's zealous, but not really about it. It turns out that she wasn't a zealot; she was just overzealous about whatever happens to. It's like you in the original, it's like, oh, she's a zealot of equality, and then in the season finale, it's like, oh no, she just is just very over the top in everything that she does. So I'm not sure if that's better or worse.
Well, maybe we'll find out more in season 8. See what she's up to. But I think time has come for goodbyes, but also to plug stuff. So, KP, what have you got coming down the pipe creatively?
Come to BabsCon and see me and John Delancey because yeah, it's important and stuff. And I have pre-orders open for stuff, and that's really it. And I got booked for another con, but I can't talk about it yet. So just those 2 cons currently, and then, yeah, that's really it. Come see me and John Delancey, not at the same time, and yeah, okay, I'm done. End scene.
Dr. Wolf, what about yourself? Projects coming up?
Well, there's still working on the massive amount of Brony D&D uploads. That'll be fun to get through. And I'm also going to be attending BabsCon, as well as Everfree Northwest. That'll be coming up in May. Yeah, that's everything that I can think of on the upcoming schedule.
Well, it's a good deal right there. Commander Firebrand.
Well, let's see. Usually MLP reviews for me are always on the first of each month. So always look for the first of each month for a new MLP review. Let's see. I am going to BabsCon as well, and coming from Australia is Luna Corva, so that's going to be fun. It's like I have been working very, very closely with him in order to, get him here because his girlfriend's also here, and so that's going to...
Ship it!
Yep. And let's see. I'm also going to Everfree Northwest. That's going to be fun. When's this thing going to be uploaded?
We're aiming for Monday.
Oh, okay. Well then, never mind. But yeah, also Folly of Celestia, the animation. It's a slow burn, but we're making a lot of progress.
A slow burn.
Gosh dang it!
There's no escaping it, Josh.
How far are you along, Josh, with that?
We're just finishing up the storyboarding, and we've finished all the puppet rigs.
Oh, bless your heart.
Yeah, we got a very small team. And we do have people. It's like the thing is like we're just trying to get the storyboards finished and the puppet rigs finished before we actually start throwing all the assets and animators.
All right.
And Sweetie Bloom, how about yourself?
Okay, let's see. Cons coming up are going to be BabsCon and Everfree Northwest. Most immediate content on my channel is going to be the HawkCon panel, which is in the future as we're recording, but in the past as people are watching, so retroactively go watch that. But other than that, I'm usually in other people's projects, D&D, TF2. I think there's probably a bunch of other stuff I've agreed to participate in that I'm probably forgetting, and someone's going to get mad at me for not plugging. For my own content, I'm hoping to get some help to motivate myself to make more videos. We'll see how that goes.
Well, a good motivator is money, so plug up your Patreon.
Well, see, it's a conflict. I feel like I need money to make money, so I'm waiting to get full-time in my job so I can pay people to help me make more money.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Whereas I continue to be a solo act, so I'm not really looking to change that, at least in the production scale. With that in mind, I'm working towards a review of Newbie Dash featuring Dusty Cat.
Yay!
That will be out soon, and as soon as that's up, I will dive into the production for What About Discord with KP.
Yay!
So we'll look
What
at her.
about Discord?
Oh, you really want to ask her that question? You're taking your life in your hands, Josh. And then I, too, will be attending both BabsCon and Everfree Northwest. Looking forward to that. Looking forward to... Been there several times and enjoy both cons immensely. And then it's just still trying to catch up with the seasons, which is really just a pipe dream. So just make as fun a video as possible. We'll worry about the pecking order another day. You know, we're doing this for fun.
Yeah.
I hope people are having fun.
Absolutely.
And we hope everyone's had fun listening to us talk about Equestria Girls Season 8, why the Royal Guard needs to be disbanded. And the princesses, who they can give the order to disband. There's Celestia's role in Season 9. I've decided to disband the Royal Guard. How will Josh react to this? How will Josh react to his favorite princess dropping the hammer?
Honestly, I don't know. I mean, on one hand, I would probably blow a gasket, but on the other hand, it's like, would we really be losing anything?
Oh, the conundrums. Oh.
I don't know how to feel about that sort of prospect.
And then Celestia takes a glass of Josh's tears. They're quite fiery. All right. Well, guys, we all wish you well, and we all hope you enjoy the coming Season 8. We'll catch you online.